Today I've been asked to give a few client examples of how open innovation has been used to source solutions through unexpected connections. But firstly, I wanted to give a brief introduction to NineSigma, our process in terms of open innovation, and why open innovation is being practiced by organizations of all sizes. NineSigma is a leading open innovation service provider with access to a network of over 2.5 million solution providers from around the world, one of the largest open innovation networks of its kind. Our network includes a broad range of industries, academia, corporate labs, and individual inventors. We have done work in nearly every sector, and our global reach spans over 150 countries. The search briefs initiate a viral networking effect, which extends the reach even further by individuals forwarding searches to others. Most companies will search for innovation within the confines of their trusted networks. That might be their suppliers, their manufacturers, distributors, and strategic partners. NineSigma is able to extend the reach of companies beyond their trusted partners to the global innovation community, enabling them to reach beyond their existing capabilities to find solutions to their most critical innovation challenges. We do this in 4 phases. Firstly, by framing the problem and articulating it in a way that greatly expands the potential for relevant solutions coming from other sectors. Finding quality solutions by creating a broad yet targeted search for from core and adjacent industries and technical disciplines, and filtering and evaluating proposals for quality and fit to ensure the best solutions are acquired. And finally, focusing on delivering solutions that have long-term value and actionable knowledge. So why is open innovation being practiced by today's innovation leaders? Some of the benefits, or the key benefits of OI, are increasing the speed of internal innovation process, minimizing risks by anticipating threats, expanding internal capabilities and knowledge, and enhancing the innovation culture. The key challenge for companies today is keeping ahead of their competition and sustaining growth. This requires continuous access to new knowledge, new partners, and new capabilities, and the ability to act on these quickly. I'm sure many of you will agree that Apple is an undisputed innovation leader. Apple has a reputation for building its own hardware and software entirely in-house. But who invented the iPod? In the case of the iPod, you may be surprised to hear that Apple did not create either the software or the hardware. In fact, it was Tony Fadell, a former vice president of Philips, who played a significant role in bringing the idea of hard drive-based digital music system to Apple. After being turned down by Philips, Fadell found support for his project with Apple, and Steve Jobs employed him not as an employee, but as a contractor, giving him a team of 30 people to develop the new MP3 player. He was tasked with getting a product to market within just 12 months. This was a tall order for most companies and also for Apple. So he looked at sourcing what he needed from outside the company. There was a number of MP3 players in the market at the time, including Creative Labs and Sony. They were expensive, they were very cumbersome in use. And Tony partnered with a company called Porter Player, a small company who had been working on their own MP3 player to design the software, and with others to develop the hardware. Apple polished the user interface, adding the famous scroll wheel. And they launched the product in just 9 months. That's the power of open innovation. In the last decade, there's been a shift in where innovation is being created. In the 80s, the majority of R&D spend was by big companies, representing around 70% of global R&D spend. The trend was ownership of IP, and large patent portfolios were perceived to be the key to competitive advantage. Today, the situation has reversed. The majority of R&D spend is by startups, SMEs, and medium-sized companies. Big companies have realized that access to innovation is as important as ownership. And the innovation model has evolved from research and development to search and development. Today, our world is changing faster than ever before. In the last 150 years, from the first flight of the Wright brothers to landing a man on the moon, to the invention of the internet and smartphone technology giving access to information anywhere, the pace of innovation has been extraordinary and shows no signs of slowing down. The intellectual property landscape is also changing at an explosive rate. In the US alone, more patents were filed each year since 2000 than the previous 40 years combined. In 2011, China's patent office overtook the US PTO to become the largest patent office in the world, a position dominated by the PTOs of the US, Japan, and Germany in the last 100 years. Also, there are more scientific papers being published globally year on year. In China alone, the number of publications grew by 15% since 2010, as opposed to less than 5% growth by the US for the same period. The growth of scientific literature is so fast and so vast, it's virtually impossible to find what is relevant, even though it's in the public domain. So, with 1/3 of the planet connected to the internet, growing at a rate of 7.9 users per second, access to information has never been more prevalent and key to sustaining competitive advantage. The challenge is identifying what is relevant, finding it quickly, and absorbing it into your business before your competitors do. Although sources of innovation are all around us and have grown dramatically, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Patents, scientific publications, products in market are all in the public domain and are potentially accessible by everyone. There is an even greater source of innovation which is largely undetected and hidden below the surface. Open innovation is the process of going outside of your company four walls or your industry to find technologies or capabilities that may be hidden below that surface so that you can enhance your internal capabilities. By way of illustrating the value of OI, I would like to present a few real-world examples from our clients. And the first one is from Frito-Lay, a PepsiCo brand. The driver for the search was that consumers are demanding healthier ingredients in their food products. PepsiCo's challenge was to reduce the salt content in their products without sacrificing on taste. They searched across the entire food industry but could not find a solution. We helped express the need in a way that would have a wider appeal and receive proposals from a variety of sectors, including energy, engineering, and the pharmaceutical sector. The most promising response came from an orthopedics department of a Swiss research lab. They had developed a nanoparticle salt formulation for advanced research on osteoporosis. The key insight was you can achieve the same perception of salt content in the palate by creating a thinner layer of salt. PepsiCo engaged the solution provider in a joint R&D initiative and launched the first products using the technology in 2010. The next example is from a global food company which had a problem with microcavities being formed during the sealing process of drinks pouches. This was letting air in, causing the juice to ferment and spoil. Their method of inspection was visual and batch testing. They needed a high-speed, continuous online inspection method that could integrate into the production process. The problem was defined as a material problem. This expanded the pool of potential solutions beyond consumer packaging. We received a number of proposals from around the world, and the chosen solution came from the technology used in crash avoidance developed for the automotive industry. The initiative resulted in technology that was incorporated into their production process. Another example is from a major consumer goods company that was looking for a technology or material that would provide more even heating for food in microwave ovens. A small number of highly targeted proposals were submitted, and one promising solution was received from a European R&D lab which had developed a means of defrosting frozen blood plasma without destroying the blood cells. The technology was developed for use in the battlefield situations for the US Army. The client contracted the lab to develop the even heating technology for their applications. This consumer goods company was developing a dishwasher which could incorporate a month's worth of dishwasher detergent. The problem was the detergent was caking due to the very humid environment. The winning solution came from the candy industry that had already solved a similar problem when processing powdered sugar. The company said that they would have never thought of approaching the candy industry. And finally, a major global automotive company was searching for a real-time sensing technology that could detect oil contaminants within engine oil. The chosen solution in this case came from a very small Ukrainian company that had developed a proprietary technology for monitoring milk quality. These sensors were rapidly re-engineered and adapted to be incorporated within the next engine design. These examples illustrate how NineSigma's open innovation process focuses on articulating the innovation needs rather than focusing on the solution. This helps open solution horizons far beyond industry boundaries to find, through adjacencies, unobvious connections or unobvious solutions. In some cases, although our clients are highly knowledgeable in their field of expertise, the solutions we find are unknown to them. They come from sources that did not make IP publicly known, which were outside of their core industry, and they may have been geographically distant. Companies often struggle to make breakthrough connections because they are hampered by cognitive bias. Experts, engineers, designers often have a bias on how they apply their expertise to solving problems. Without knowing it, they will dismiss alternative approaches outside of their domains of knowledge and experience. Typically, more than 2/3 of the solutions we find are unknown to our clients. I hope this has given you a flavor of the potential of OI, or open innovation. If anyone would like to know more, and I'm welcome to have a chat with you. I have a few brochures and materials upstairs, so please come and see me. Thanks very much.